Hello my creative friends, welcome to Rain Francis Art. My name is Rain. Today I'm going to show you how to draw some 3D art. It's really neat and it's a lot of fun and it's super easy to do. We're going to draw a sphere or a little ball that's going to look like it's floating on top of a piece of paper. So all you're going to need for this tutorial is some paper. I'm just using printer paper here, white printer paper. You're going to need a ruler, just a regular pencil, some erasers, something that you can use to make a round shape. I find that the masking tape is perfect for that. I've got a couple of markers here. One is just a dollar store marker that I'm going to use to color in some areas. I've got a Sharpie, black Sharpie. I'm going to be using the fine tip. I've got some tinted charcoal here. This actually is a 2B graphite pencil, but I've got 3 tinted charcoal pencils here. One is white, one is dark, which is black, and this one here is called Lavender, and it comes out kind of as a grayish color. So if you don't have tinted charcoal, you can use regular charcoal as long as you have a dark and a light and a white. You could also use graphite for this as well. I've got some scissors and I'll just show you. This is the tinted charcoal. It comes in 12 different colors and I haven't really explored using it yet, but I'm going to try. So that's all you need. Oh, plus some cotton swabs for blending. That's all you need for this tutorial, so let's begin. Okay, my friends, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw our sphere. I'll call it a sphere. It'll just make it easier. So I'm just drawing a circle with pencil. Okay, and what I'm going to do is take my ruler and on the inch side, every ½ inch from the left side, I'm going to put a little mark. That's a ¼ inch. Sorry about that. I will ignore that. ½ inch. We're going to be erasing these, so don't worry about them showing. Okay. So every ½ inch, I'm going to take my masking tape or whatever you're using to help you with the circle, and you're going to put the edge of it on the mark, and you're going to draw around it to make like a semicircle. And don't worry about going over the lines right now. We can always erase. So continue to do that until you have all of your semicircles from each mark. Okay, so we've done all of our semicircles. Now what I want to do right here about in the middle, if you want to be exact, you can measure. I've got about 2 inches, so in the middle of the last little plane there, I want to draw just an oval like that. So now what I'm doing is I've got my little black marker. It's got like a paint tip edge. I like to use that. I'm going to just do, first I'm going to just fill this in. Try to make it as round as possible. Yeah, I don't really like this. I'm going to switch to the Sharpie. Sharpie's a little more accurate. Much better. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, I don't think I'm going to use my masking tape, but I am definitely going to try to make this as circular as possible. And I'm going to draw the outlines of each crescent. Again, as best as I can, keeping the correct form. All right, everything's outlined. I'm going to take that paintbrush black and I'm going to go in and make some stripes. I've got the round one here, so every other stripe I'm going to fill in with black. I'm just going to thicken the bottom of the sphere as well from about halfway. There. Maybe a little thicker down here too. Ah, why not? Let's do the whole thing. My goodness, I have shaky hands again. Okay. I think that'll do. Now, the next thing I want to do is just erase. Actually, you know what? I don't have to erase anything, and I'll show you why after. Actually, I'll tell you why. We are going to be cutting out this area here, so it doesn't matter. I think what matters the most is that from about here on, we try to stay in the lines on the left. So why don't I just draw in a little line right now? That way I know as I'm going along that I can be a little more messy on this side, because like I said, I'm going to be cutting it out. But over here I'm going to try to stay as inside the lines as possible. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dark tinted charcoal, which is just basically black charcoal, and I'm going to go over the entire sphere, even the black areas here. The only thing is I'm going to keep about this area here white, okay? Next, I'm going to take my white charcoal and just go over that area that I left white and down past this stripe here. And past this stripe here. That's just going to be our highlighted area. I've got my lavender, and like I said, if you have a gray color, or if you have a lighter charcoal, like maybe an HB, you can use that. I'm just going to go over. I want the white and the black to blend well, and that's why I'm using the lavender or lighter gray. I'm going over the edges of the white and the edges of the black around this oval here to help it blend better. And I'm going to go out a little bit. All right, now we're going to take a cotton swab and blend. I'm going to start with the white and move out so that I don't get black inside my white area. All right, that's all blended, and I'm going to add another layer of everything. If you want to blend, if you want the white and the dark to blend a little seamlessly, what you do is don't apply too much pressure with the cotton swab when you're at the edges. And they'll blend in really, really well, and you won't have like a big stripe there. Although I do have a stripe there. I'm just going to add a little white. Always use a clean side when you're blending white. I think that looks good. I'm going to continue blending the rest. Adding a little lavender where I see too much stripe going on. This one too. I'll take a new cotton swab. Okay, that's a little better. All right, I'm going to continue blending all the black. All right, I'm done with the blending. There's a lot of charcoal dust. I've got my cats on the desk next to me and the dogs are right under my feet, so I'm going to pause the video, bring this to the garbage, and blow the dust off over there because you definitely don't want your pets or even your kids to breathe that in. Or okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is, you may not be able to see this, but I can see it. I actually went over the outline here, so I'm just taking a little eraser and I'm just going to erase the charcoal. It actually erases very well, but it can be a pain in the butt, so, you know, if you can try to stay in the lines, try to stay in the lines. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is take my ruler and with inches, I'm going to mark out along the page here every ½ inch again. Okay, I'm going to take my Sharpie, the fine tip edge, and I'm going to draw lines up to this vertical line here that I had before, and I'm going to try to be as straight as possible. I'm not very good at drawing straight lines, even with a ruler. It's ridiculous. And don't worry if you go out here because we're cutting all of this out, okay? Just try to make them even and straight. Just be sure not to draw lines on the sphere itself. This can get a little messy because of the charcoal, so have a little rag handy so that you can wipe off your ruler when you get past the area of the sphere. All right, that part's done. So now we're going to grab, let's see, I'm going to actually erase those little marks. I don't want those little marks to show. And if you see any area where charcoal may have gotten onto the grid, like here, you may not be able to see it, but I can. I'm just erasing that off. Okay, and I'm going to erase that vertical line that I drew for reference as well. All right. Okay. Now let's grab our dark charcoal pencil, and I'd say about here, we're going to draw a little circle or an ovalish circle underneath the sphere because this is going to act as the shadow. This pencil doesn't work very well on this paper. I feel like it keeps scratching it. I'm just going to make the middle a little darker. And I'm going to take my lavender and go around the edges. and actually over the whole thing because I want it to blend really well. Grab a cotton swab, start with the light colors. All right, that looks good. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to cut. And actually, you may not have wanted to erase that line. You can go and put it in again if you want, anywhere close to that area. Sorry about that, folks. I'm going to line it up with the very top one here because we're going to cut along that line. If you have an X-Acto knife, you can go ahead and cut around here. I just find it easier with paper, with scissors. Oh, and this is the reason why you put paper under when you're using a Sharpie, because it goes right through. And I have marks all over my table from that. So I don't want my pencil mark to show, so I'm going just a little inside the pencil mark. And just to make it easier, I'm just going to cut off. All right, here's where it takes a little concentration for me. And I want you to be able to see in focus And I wanted to point something out. When you're cutting, this is where you can fix little mistakes. Like, as you can see here, my Sharpie went out a little bit. So I can cut that right off and fix that little mistake. Just like that. Alright, so that's all cut off. Now, if you look at it the way it is, it doesn't look too 3D, does it? But I'm going to show you a little trick so that you can see it looking 3D. Okay, my friends, so the camera might get a little wobbly right now because I'm holding it with my hand. I have just a black cloth here, and I wanted to just show you, you may have seen the effect already. If you put up your sphere on a black cloth, you can kind of play around with your camera. And check that out. Depending on what angle you use, you can really make it look 3D. I think that looks like it's floating. I'm actually, oh, that was my knee cracking. There we go. Let me see if I can get this steady here. Yeah, let's try it like this. Looks like, because if, look, from the top, it's just kind of cool the way you can manipulate it just by moving your camera. Look at that. That looks like it's floating. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, my friends. And if you did, please like and subscribe and leave me a comment. And I hope you try this. If you do, please let me know. And you can't really put links in the comments, but if you write out the link and write dot in between, then I can find your blog or your page where you've uploaded your photo. I would love to see if you've done this. It was a lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.